Joining me now, four of the movie stars, Steve Carell, David Koechner, Paul Rudd, and Will Ferrell. I'm pleased to have them here at this table. So here we are watching the trailer, and you guys still laughing. I mean, it's just...
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ron is ridiculous.
So it's such a good idea. Why did it take so long?
These guys were really stubborn.
Well, they're hard to get.
Hard to get a hold of.
They had other jobs.
Had other jobs.
Yeah.
I wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Wouldn't talk to me.
Well, you were into drama by now, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
I
am
comedy
just...
prepared you for the big role.
I have a pretense about me now. And to dare stick my toe back into that world.
I mean,
germ-filled pool of comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Gives you shivers.
Shakespeare, it's Chekhov. It's not comedy. It's not Anchorman, too. So, truly, did you have to be convinced that you didn't want to be just another sequel?
Well, of the movies that I've done with Adam McKay, co-writer and our director.
Supposed to be here, but had something happen.
Had something else happen.
Yeah.
We just never thought about ever doing sequels. We were just always on to the next story, and we were more excited about that. Anchorman, though, was unique in that we made it 9 years ago. It was a modest hit. We felt good about it. Felt like we had done a kind of a new style of comedy, and then it just sat on the shelf, and over the years just grew and grew and grew and grew in popularity. And we would all get together in passing and have the same comment that no matter what project we were working on, whatever we're talking about, the last 3 questions of the interview would be Anchorman related.
Yeah.
Are you going to do a sequel? What was it like to work on? And we'd always compare notes that this thing is so popular, and I think in the best possible way, it just kind of woke Adam and I up to the idea of revisiting these characters, and why not? It's the most fun movie any of us have done, and
agreed, the most fun movie.
Easily, yes.
Yeah, what makes it that?
I think everybody understands the tone we're all going for, and these 4 gentlemen tend to work as a true ensemble. No one's trying to do anything but make this scene the best it can be.
And Adam and Will, who have been, in a partnership really since Saturday Night Live, kind of work in this way that is all-inclusive and really open to everybody's input, and it makes it for a really, really fun set.
Why do you think, though, it grew in popularity? Why were people constantly coming back to it? Because you've done some other very good things. I
think it's
Talladega, for example.
Yeah, it's funny because I had heard from friends when it first came out that I had friends who loved it right away, and one of my best friends from college went on a double date to watch it opening weekend. Halfway through, the other couple left. They just said, "We're gonna go. We don't quite get it. I know he's your friend. It's not very funny. Call us later," and just left the theater. So, and I don't know if you guys had heard some of those things, but it was
not that
so
severe, but yeah,
it was so kind of left of center. I don't know if people kind of understood it at first, but
I don't think they did.
Often hear that people didn't think it was funny the first time, but then on subsequent viewings, we're just enamored of it. Yeah.
People discovered jokes they'd missed the first time, and it's one of those things they'd watch 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and upon those repeat viewings, they just felt such ownership to the movie and the characters and those lines. And
a lot of DVD sales, I'm told, too.
Yeah, I guess it performed remarkably on DVD, Charlie. Real good number. I don't know if we have the numbers. Do we have the numbers?
Okay. Yeah. Now, here's the thing, though. It's so good, and it's so part of the culture. You did not need to market it this time.
I don't think we did.
It did nothing.
I wish you told us that 3 weeks ago.
You know what?
I know, it's kind of bizarre. Yeah.
In its defense, I have to say
it's been marketing or what?
In the marketing's defense, I think it's remarkable because so much of it has been on Will's shoulders, and he's been going out in character. And you told me a story that, you were at this one event where you weren't sure, you weren't aware that you were going to have to do 45 minutes of improvisation. It turned into a press conference. Yeah. And that's a daunting task. And the fact that Will has been able to pull that off in character, I think is a real testament to him. And it's made it, I think, more fun and more palatable for people because it's been entertainment all the way
Indeed,
along.
it's been great from Saturday Night Live and everything.
I'm pretty sure we'll be nominated for a marketing award.
I don't think anybody's
Markies.
Nobody's in second place
We're
for
probably
a
gonna
Markey.
sweep the Markies.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but how many Dodges do you have now? I mean, you have earned a lot of Dodges.
I'm still waiting for
Oh,
one.
oh,
Yeah.
the first one.
Sticky subject.
You got to watch the car guys, don't you?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
No, I don't have one. That's bad negotiating on my part, I guess.
they'll stand in line.
Yeah.
So here's the movie. It begins San Diego. You're doing something.
Right.
These guys are doing something.
Right.
New York wants you.
Yes, we get an opportunity to come and join the GNN
GNN
news team.
You know, it's cable news.
Brand new idea, 24-hour news,
Yeah.
which Ron's very skeptical of. It's a chance to redeem himself, and they get to come to New York,
Yeah.
the big stage, and we just thought, what a perfect backdrop to throw these guys into.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
So what is Brick doing when we come to get him?
Brick's dead. when Brick, I think that pretty much sums it up.
He's
At the
dead.
beginning of the movie, Brick is dead. At the end, he is not dead.
Dead, yes.
That's basically, when I read the script, I thought, okay, here's my character arc. I start and I'm dead, and then I'm not.
It's Benjamin Button.
Zombieland.
It's so weird.
The line from The Office. It's like Benjamin Button in reverse.
That's what it is. And where's Brian?
Brian Fantana is a very successful cat photographer.
Oh, the best, wasn't he?
He's the best. Oh yeah, the best. Not just
if you had a cat and you wanted it photographed,
you get
call
Fantana.
Brian. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's right.
You need to make. I
Champ
hate
describes him a certain way.
As the Quincy Jones of cat photography.
By the way, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I never did thank you. That's a really nice comparison.
The Quincy
Yeah.
Jones.
Quincy Jones.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
That's the ultimate, isn't it?
nothing but hits, man. Nothing but hits. You want the,
You got. I hate Mondays. Probably hang in there.
Yeah,
would
would
be
be
one.
Hang in there.
You, in fact, had the most to lose.
yeah.
Yeah.
You had an empire.
He was
I had an
exactly-
empire, and I gave it up like
Just
that.
like that. When Ron calls, you go.
Yeah.
Because
That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Yeah. And so where?
Champ is he has a chicken restaurant,
Yes, he
but not exactly chicken.
He's serving rats.
Well, bats. He'll serve anything.
He
He doesn't
would serve
care.
rats, too.
He's serving things that are deep fried.
Anything that falls in that fryer.
We think maybe a raccoon fell in at one point. You're like, you know what? Fur's off. Let's go. Chop that thing up. Bread it.
There's actually one line.
Nobody will ever know. No.
You see another animal, and you're like, ooh, there's a lot of meat on that thing.
That became a running joke where throughout the entire shoot, you kept pointing to things, asking if they could be good for your restaurant. Cook them up.
What's the ratio of meat to? Yeah.
So where's Ron, our boy?
Well, Ron is announcing the dolphin show at
SeaWorld.
SeaWorld, and
Because he's
is inebriated, and and he's about to call it quits.
Yeah.
He's about to call it quits, and Freddie Shapp, played by Dylan Baker, comes in, and he's the producer who saves these guys.
So you go to New York.
They go to New York, and where they find out quickly that they're going to be on at 2 a.m.
Yeah, I know what that's like. You know that.
They're not happy.
And that wasn't
Were you happy?
Yeah,
when you had me on?
no. Yes, I was. I was happy to have a job.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any comedic talent, so.
So they're given the graveyard shift, and and have to figure out a way to get viewers, and they stumble into developing basically infotainment, and all their bad instincts are actually bringing viewers.
Because Ron complains, why do we have to tell them what they need to hear? Why can't they tell them what they want to hear?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it came from an honest place.
Yeah.
That's right. If they don't need to know the news, we'll just tell them what they want to see. Yeah.
And they have horrible suggestions. They pitch, Brian Fantana pitches,
Showing
can't they just show a
porn?
porn?
Yeah.
Just put a porn on.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Yeah. Now, who is Jack Lime?
That's played by, that's James Marsden. He's
God.
He's God. He's rumored to be making $1 million a year.
Ooh.
He's come in to be the kind of lead anchor, and he's, of course, terribly charismatic,
King of Anchorman.
Yes, and the guys are immediately enamored with him.
We're taken. We're smitten.
Yes, you like him.
And he turns on me.
He's more than that. Just
How could you not be, in a way? I mean,
he turns on me from about 100 feet across the room.
Oh,
yes, he senses cowardice, and Ron is immediately on his heels from the beginning without even saying a word.
Really acute hearing too.
Yeah. So they have to deal with him.
So Ron's got a romantic interest too, doesn't he?
He does.
You saw a little bit in the trailer. An African American.
Yes, Linda Jackson, who's their boss.
Yeah.
So now they're really thrown into it because they've never had a female boss.
Yeah.
And because the 80s, CNN, there's incredible amount of diversity in the newsroom at this point, and so very capable, intelligent African American woman is now their boss, and Ron and her, at some point, not initially, have some romantic interest.
Now, characterize how Ron Burgundy in this movie thinks of himself.
Exactly the same as the first one.
He never died.
I think that's the beauty of these characters, if they don't really evolve in any way in terms of their attitudes. And he's still. He's still assured on the outside. I will have to say though that they're now on this big stage. They've never had to compete against anyone. There's all these news teams now competing for time slots, and he realizes that maybe he's in over his head.
This is a new league.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at a clip. Show me the first clip, guys.
Mr. Burgundy, we're starting a 24-hour news channel. First of its kind, GNN.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You mean news going 24 hours around the clock? A channel that's never off, in other words.
Yeah. Just 24 hours. It's a...
No offense, but you are stupid.
I assure you, we are 100% for real. We've got state-of-the-art facilities in Manhattan. Here. This is your first week's salary.
By the hymen of Olivia Newton-John.
What do you say, Ron?
I'll take the job. And I swear I'll be #1 again. I'm gonna do what God put Ron Burgundy on this earth to do. Have salon-quality hair and read the news.
That's it.
That's his mission.
Yeah. Tell me about the writing of this. Is it you and Adam? It's the two of you sitting in the room saying, how about this?
This one was slightly different because we had, when we started outlining it, we had a lot of things going on at the time. So we had a longer outline process, and then I went away for the summer. So we actually took the outline and split it in half. And he wrote the front part, and I wrote the second part. And we kind of merged them together and threw a lot of it out. But some of the scenes stayed in there from that first pass. And then, but we did kind of our usual thing. We'll throw every idea out and kind of distill it down to the script.
Yeah, but the script is, I'm told, relatively detailed.
Yeah, it is.
Is that right?
Definitely. Oh, yeah. And a lot of people...
This is not like go wing it, guys.
No, and we get a lot of questions about that, whether it was all improvised, and it wasn't at all. The script is very tight and really, really funny. And so it's a little odd. There was improv involved, but the script was very, very detailed and tight.
I remember the first script, I thought it was so great that we shouldn't change anything. I honestly thought, we can't beat these jokes. Why are we even trying? But I think what happens is it changes the acuity because you know you might improvise, so it's like dialed in a little harder. But then these guys are just so magnanimous because they're available to like just whatever you want to do. Yeah. Let's just shoot it. We might get a gem.
Yeah.
Someone wrote that it had the spirit of Saturday Night Live.
I could see that. I mean, that obviously informed us, having worked on that show for so long and loving the ensemble of sketches. I think that's what appeals to Adam and I comedically. I think for all of our films it's much more exciting for an audience to see multiple funny characters as opposed to just one.
Is it different working with somebody who has comedic experience?
It's nice when you're working like this, and that everybody can. I think, well, one we've worked together before in the past, which is kind of nice. But you understand in a way that it isn't always just about the joke. That sometimes it's about setting up the joke or being able to kind of lob the pass or whatever for somebody else to spike it. And I think that if you're working with people who have a similar comedic sensibility, it can make the day go quicker, easier, and you can really discover some things that are
because it's hard to teach comedy just from a text.
I'm still trying to learn.
I think it's impossible.
I think it is too.
You can't. I don't think you can teach it.
Yeah.
I think the only thing
you can't teach it. Either you have a born instinct for it or not.
I think the only thing you can do is say, try it faster. I believe that.
That's all directors do.
I remember working on something before, and there was a person, I can say a male or female, who kept coming and saying, I'm having trouble with this. I said, you know what? Just do it faster. In fact, maybe just look in the mirror and do it fast. Because this person was tending to go slow. It's like, just faster.
And it worked.
And then I saw this person go down the line and ask another person. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I just said faster, that would have done it. But
just listen to you and stop.
That's the only thing I think you do, because I don't think you can teach someone to be funny. Yeah. You can make a performance funny. Some people want to be
my comedy teacher.
There you go. I think you some people.
And she was doing such a good job.
Everybody wants to be the.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What's working? It's really working, Steve. It really is.
How cruel can you be?
Everybody wants to be the.
It works.
It's more of a placebo effect.
It is.
I think.
Just near it.
You always had it. You always had it. Yeah.
Can you imagine actually having a comedy teacher on set saying, okay,
like an accent teacher.
You need to go up at the end because that's funny.
But it is interesting because I think we're all asked by people wanting to learn and coming up like, come on, what are the shortcuts?
Yeah, give me the
what do you really have to do? And you already know that if you're asking me, you don't have it because there's no.
You've never gotten a laugh in your life
because it's not a linear approach. It's just about getting up and doing it and failing.
Now, is there social commentary in this film? Are we saying something about America and news and what happened to it?
Scathing social commentary.
It's scathing. Why?
Really, and really, I think at the expense of comedy.
Can you teach scathing?
You know what? If we can get one person to vote, then this movie has served its purpose.
You mean social commentary will kill comedy?
No, I think if you put too fine a point on it, it can't. You don't want to overwhelm. I think these guys have struck a beautiful balance between the absurd and the satirical, and there are both elements in this. I think it's really smart, and it takes very intelligent people to write something like this.
Well, I'm serious now about this. Yeah. Were you actually thinking about where's the right balance between the absurd and the satirical, or are you simply sitting there saying, we've got this circumstance, how do we make it funny?
Well, I mean, the journey was this, is that as we thought about all the potential landscapes for this sequel, the one we kept landing on was 1980, the beginning of 24-hour news. And once we made that choice, ultimately we're trying to make a funny movie. But once we go to 24-hour news, you can't help but to comment on what's going on right now. And we also thought it would be funny and satirical to have Ron Burgundy be the one who discovers that you can put a car chase on the news.
Yes.
Even though it's not news. But the audience liked it. But the audience likes it, and I think the audience is fortunately laughing really hard, but also going, "Wow, that you do take some interesting little shots here." Yeah. Which is it's great to kind of do both.
You also were able to get a whole bunch of cameo appearances in this movie, even Kanye West.
Yes.
And how do you do that? I mean, good question. I mean, what's wrong with that question?
No, thank you for asking.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I'm looking at me like,
I just got caught up.
I mean,
I'm on Charlie's side. That's all I know right now.
Exactly right. You're in the right place. So you go to Kanye and say, "It's my movie, Kanye," and you're not singing. You're just here.
And you find out that he's a huge comedy fan, and you find out that he's a fan of a couple of our movies, and you kind of throw it out there, and lo and behold, you hear He'd like to talk to you guys on the phone.
Yeah.
And you have a conversation. Maybe 2 Chainz is in the room. Maybe he's not. But he's game and comes and wants to play.
He gets to yes.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised about it, actually. I mean, he seems to me like a guy, beyond all the sort of over-the-top stuff he does, he wants to learn stuff. I mean,
Absolutely.
He's damn good. And he got there because he wanted to learn stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was there asking all of us questions and
And he was.
You just said go higher. Go higher.
I didn't say a word. I said it's awesome. He also was working the entire time.
he's prolific.
He was
really?
honestly. We're sitting. If we're not shooting, we're just BSing in the tent. So what'd you have for lunch? He's over there working.
Yeah. On his laptop.
Every day.
All right.
Constantly working.
There you go. My point.
Yeah.
You know, he'll be making Anchorman 3 tomorrow.
Yeah, I think he wrote half of it.
That's what he was doing?
Yeah.
Is that what he's writing the third one?
Watch out.
He's like, I'm sorry, I only got 60 pages for you.
All right,
He's going to be
Anchorman 3.
calling you. He's going to call you and ask if you want to be in it.
I have to audition for him.
That's right.
Which I'm happy to do.
Right.
I'm excited for the opportunity.
Anchorman 3.
Oh, man.
There's a cameo.
There's less,
There's
he said there's less
by-
than a 50-50
by
chance you're
Will
going to be in
Ferrell.
it. Less. But I'd love for you to read. You guys are fine.
That's a tough
Yeah,
room.
you're fine.
Yeah.
It's a tough room to walk
Well,
into.
it's a tough room.
Well, when Connie says you're probably not going to get this, but you have to audition anyway.
We're going to go with Matt Damon.
Yeah.
You know what? I couldn't blame him. I couldn't argue. No, he's amazing.
Yeah.
He's always good.
But did you got everything out of it you wanted in this movie? You made the movie you wanted to make. I mean, you got the
Oh, my
people you
gosh.
wanted. You got
Hands
Harrison
down.
Ford is in it, for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean, and we just we really wanted to take a big swing. We wanted to make it feel epic. We wanted it to not feel safe in any way, and like Steve was saying, it gets incredibly absurd at times.
Yeah. Push the envelope, as they say.
Yeah. We didn't want to hold back.
Yeah. You feel like you were making an epic?
Oh, yes. And a classic. Because if you don't feel like you're making a classic when you're doing it,
Why show up?
then you're...
Exactly.
That is
This
always
David
the
does
worst.
not show up. If not,
The worst
if
idea.
not
Classic,
classic.
I'm not going to show up. I barely show up anyway. I'm just half there. Inside is this.
But if it's an epic, you give it your best.
Epic. I'm
You're,
like,
you're there early in the
wide-eyed
morning,
going, this is
and the last person to leave.
internal dialogues. This is an epic. I'm showing up.
I'm showing up.
Full body.
I'm gonna give him everything.
Yeah, I don't
you
give him
know?
the ghost inside
I leave
then.
nothing on the table.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be exhausted at the end of the day.
I'm spent.
Yes.
I'll still stay out.
Yeah. Now, how much did you change the script once you began making the movie?
I mean, we didn't change any of the scenes. It's a tough question to answer, only because we'd have to go scene by scene to let you know, oh, these 3 jokes came up on the day, this was the same. So it's percentage-wise.
Oh no, I don't.
What are we thinking?
What do we think?
32%. About 32%.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I saw it as 32.
But it averaged like every
Could've been
day.
33, but
We had
it could have been 33.
we had a line by line accounting every day. At the end of the day, always the same. 32. 32%.
This is from Ron Burgundy 1, Anchorman 1. Take a look at this.
You really want to know what love is?
Yeah.
Yes, tell us.
More than anything in the world, Ron.
Well, it's really quite simple. It's kind of like... Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some afternoon delight. My motto's always been, when it's right, why wait until the middle of a cold, dark night? When everything's a little clearer in the light of day. And we know the night is always gonna be here anyway. Thinking of you's working up my appetite. Looking forward to a little afternoon delight. Rubbing sticks and stones together, making sparks ignite. And the thought of loving you is getting so exciting. Sky rockets in flight. Woo! Afternoon delight. Whoop. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon delight.
I don't know, Ron.
That sounds kind of crazy.
Sounds like you have mental problems, man.
Yeah, you got mental problems, man.
Yeah, it really does.
Man.
Afternoon delight.
Want to make a phone call here, freshen this up.
It's timeless.
One take.
Remember?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
you
We
script-
learned it.
Yeah, we had to we sung that on the set.
That was added to the script. That was
Right,
not in the
yeah.
script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when you went to the studio, was this a hard sell?
The first one?
No, the second one.
Oh, no.
No. But did they give you the budget you wanted?
No.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
That's where I'm
that
going.
part was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were making an epic, and you wanted them to know we're not just making an ordinary movie here.
Well, it was more about that. It was just very low considering where everyone is in their career,
Exactly.
and it's a lot of time had passed, and so it took some back and forth to kind of get it to a place that we could all make it work for us.
Did you and others take a cut and pay in order to make this happen? Is that right?
Oh yeah. We wanted to do do it because Steve didn't, which is what's created a real friction.
No, you didn't.
You didn't.
We're the only ones who did.
Do that to be in this.
Well, I guess
You've been,
I take
you've
it
been
back.
a star, maybe, but I mean, you know,
The only
it's
Paul and I.
ensemble stuff.
I mean, honestly,
It's
from
ensemble.
the first inkling that there might be a second one, we were all on board completely, and no matter what any of
These
us
guys said yes without even a script.
Okay, but let me just understand
Absolutely.
that. Because is it because the first one was so much fun, or because you just love Will and Adam, or what?
all of it.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. We loved them, love each other.
Yeah.
We loved being a part of that first one. We knew that they would write something that was going to be really fun to be in and funny to watch. So we had complete confidence and faith.
I think
And
the
now
fir-
look where we are.
I think the first one, the first one was so kind of major for all of us. I mean, it was such an important part of our lives. I think professionally and personally. I mean, it was a really great experience.
Yeah.
So, but what makes a great experience?
Well, I remember working on that movie and the first one thinking, I can't believe a studio is giving us money to make this movie because it is so different than anything else that's being made, and it seemed to be kind of so simpatico with my own kind of thought of what is funny, and I think we all felt that. And so when we were working on it, you know, separate from thinking, will this be successful or not, I think we all felt, well, we think this is funny, and that was just such a thrill to work on something and have that kind of feeling.
When you guys would sit down, when you and Adam sit down, I mean, is it, and you laugh,
Yeah.
do you generally find those laughs are duplicated? In other words, is your instinct as to what's funny always the same, or are there times in which you say it falls a little bit flat, and other times that you didn't expect it to go so good?
Exactly.
It goes good.
Yeah. It's
always that.
It's always that balance of you know, come up with something where we have tears in our eyes, and we're like, I hope other people think it's funny, because gosh, this is funny. And then, oh, we were right, or oh, that did not work at all. But when you come to edit the film, that guides you when you're editing the film, and for the most part, yeah, you're really trying to please the audience, and then once you get the film kind of in the shape that you want it, then you can go back and for about 20% of it chuck things back in that the audience didn't laugh once, but we secretly love.
So let me go back to San Diego. You're married to Veronica.
Yes.
And when was it Harrison Ford who came in and said, you know, Veronica's be it.
Yeah.
And
Ron.
You're gone. You're gone.
You're the
going to see world.
worst newsman I've ever seen.
Yes.
And Ron tries to argue his point. What did I do wrong? And we go through a series of Ron sneezing on the lens, shouting the news copy because it was written in all capital, cursing on the air, things like that.
So you have a choice when you get this New York offer. You either go or you stay in San Diego for the love of your family.
Right.
What do you do?
Ron takes the. Yeah, he's
in New York.
He's in New York.
Yeah.
He's gonna prove that he belongs there and win back the love of his his wife and his child. He now has a child.
Oh yeah,
also.
that's true. Yeah.
So
he's going to do.
There's
what
a
he's
lot at stake.
Yeah, but he's going to do what he was born to do.
Right.
You know.
Right. Have salon quality hair and read the news.
So, but in the end,
see
I mean,
a t-shirt.
so here's my other question.
That's the other thing we're asked. What's going to be quotable from this movie, which we have no idea.
You don't know.
Because we didn't have any idea the first one would be
really
quotable. Yeah.
Do you have an idea, Steve?
No, I
You
really don't.
Yeah.
Really?
No idea.
Dan?
I mean, look, if you had gone to the marketing department for the first film and said, I love lamp is going to be a highly quoted line, they'd have looked at you like you're crazy.
Yes, what do you know?
Or if they'd said, look, I need you to print up 100,000 T-shirts that say milk was a bad choice.
Yeah.
They go, what?
A line
What?
from a character that in the first round of studio notes, their suggestion was to get rid of the brick character because he doesn't make any sense. So
that was the studio notes?
That was the studio note. And we said, we kind of have a hunch this character will work.
and this actor will work.
And thank God we fought for that.
Can you show your appreciation?
I do every day.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, being in this was probably the biggest turning point in my career of anything.
And
being cast in this movie.
Anchorman 1.
Yes, because from this I met Judd Apatow, and we then worked together on 40-Year-Old Virgin. I mean, it led to so many other things. So I have Will and Adam, all of these guys to thank for all of that.
Same thing for you, Paul.
Absolutely. I met Judd on that. Steve and I worked together. It was a launching pad, I think, for all of us.
It's been an albatross for me.
But
I'm crawling out from under it.
Yeah.
It's that thing's been following
this
me.
may be a time, though, that you can
finally,
take
I'll reverse
that,
it.
take the weight off the back.
Exactly.
It gives you a chance to loosen the chains.
Stop suffering that yoke.
Take a look at this. This is a sense of the flavor of this film, where Ron witnesses a touching moment between Veronica, his wife, who's estranged wife, and his new love interest, Linda. Here it is.
I had to come tell you something very important, but you must be Linda Jackson.
You must be Veronica.
Yes, I am. It's a pleasure.
This is a touching moment for me.
Please, don't take this the wrong way, but if you touch Ron again, I will shoot you with a BB gun.
Oh, you can talk big all you want, but guess what? This kitten's got claws.
Don't mess with me, Linda, because this white thunder rolls deep and it rolls nasty.
I was feeling a little bit down, but this is definitely picking up my mood.
Well, I guess I'll leave you two alone, and it's been an absolute pleasure, Miss Corningstone.
This has been great.
Do you guys want to kiss real quick?
Ron, read the room.
He has the amazing capacity of turning any situation into its worst kind of version. Yeah,
That's got to be great.
He wrecks moments. No, that's why he's so much fun. So much fun to play.
And it's if I would assume you've gotten inside this guy. You know exactly how Ron's going.
And that's
his absurdity and exactly how to go there.
Yeah, and that's a perfect example of we just had their encounter written, and the whole game in my head was how would Ron just really ruin this moment, just say inappropriate things the whole time, and suggesting that they kiss, and this is wonderful, really, and Christina improvised that. Read the room, Ron. But that's why it's a joy to play Ron Burgundy. He has no responsibility about anything.
I mean, it's just great though if you're writing or just to know that you know him.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a you have a model that you can just take anywhere you want to go because you know where he goes. You got his motor.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. It's a fabulous movie.
Feel better. Take care of the pipes.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Okay.
Maybe I could grow up and be an Anchorman.
I don't know.
No, probably
you
not.
have to talk to Kanye about the third one. Yeah. You're gonna have to audition.
Oh, I don't mind. It's really great, though. Thank you.